Am I the arsehole for uninviting my sister-in-law who is in love with my husband? Story time. So my husband and I met each other at ski lodge about 9 years ago. We'll call him Steve. I was with my friends, my sister and my children, and he was with his brothers and sisters and a couple of his friends as well. We'd been talking throughout the night and my friends and his friends set us up so we'd have to sing together. It was very High School Musical vibes. And even at this point, I could catch on to my sister-in-law's disturbing behaviour. After we had done our little song, we went to the cafe to have a little chat afterwards to get to know each other a bit more. The middle sister, who we'll call Amy, came storming up to us. And for some context, Amy was adopted at birth, so she's not a biological sister at all. She was demanding that he return back to their group. She didn't look at me once and then whined when he told her no. She actually ran off crying and then locked herself in the room, so everybody else in that room had to stay in someone else's room. It was quite an inconvenience. Fast forward to when we bought a house together. We invited our friends and family, and of course Amy was there. But she turned up wearing this like a really skimpy, sexy little clubbing outfit to a housewarming party with friends and family. She literally ignored me the whole entire time and hung off my husband the whole time. She kept kissing him on the cheek, hugging him. She touched his arm whenever he made her laugh. This girl was flirting with her own brother. People commented about how she looked like the girlfriend and I looked like some random girl. She was going around telling everybody about how he'd always said that he didn't want kids, but now he's changed his tune and is playing daddy to my daughter. She even went as far as to talk about how hot his modelling pictures were from when he'd done them in college. And if you think this is bad, things got even worse at the end of the night. This was the night when Steve proposed to me. And as soon as he got down on one knee, this bitch started crying and she ran to the bathroom. Their dad went to go check on her and then he ended up driving her straight home. After that, we didn't see her for years. She skipped our wedding, she skipped the baby shower for our new baby, she skipped family parties. I was absolutely fine inviting her to stuff because I knew she wouldn't actually turn up. She ended up having some sort of mental breakdown and was in and out of treatment for years after this. I wish this girl all the best, but I don't want her disrupting my peace. I just really hope that she gets well again. So I'm currently pregnant and our baby shower is at the end of this month. So my mother-in-law RSVP'd and said that Amy would actually be coming this time and asked if it was okay if she could bring her new boyfriend. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit apprehensive to agree. Well, it took all of 24 hours after this for her to start her old ways. She was texting my husband paragraphs at like 3 a.m. talking about how I destroyed the family and how I'd ruined their relationship. She was asking if he really was happy with his life because he had always said that he didn't want kids, but after I came along, he kind of changed his mind. She then was asking if he had ever thought about her this whole time when they'd not been speaking. That was the last straw for me. I asked him if he was aware of the fact that his sister was in love with him. And Steve had just shrugged his shoulders and said, well, I don't really doubt your theory. He opened up about the fact that when they were 11, she had asked him if they could cuddle and kiss. And he obviously said no. He admitted that since then, her behaviour had always been a little bit strange and dramatic. I then asked him if he would uninvite her for the baby shower because I was convinced that this girl was going to bring all the drama and I was not in the mood. And he said that he needs to speak to his parents first to see what type of state she's in. So what do you think?
Am I in the wrong for wanting to divorce my husband because he wants a son? I, 27 female, have been with my husband, 29 male, for 5 years, married for 3 of those years. Our marriage was perfect and we were so happy. It felt like our entire life was perfect. Church on Sunday, loving husband, beautiful home, all of it. A few months into our marriage, I became pregnant and my husband and I were overjoyed, and so was the rest of our family. My husband was especially happy after finding out that our baby was a boy, as he'd always told me he wanted at least one son. I even started to try to attempt to repair my relationship with my mother so our son could have a relationship with his grandparents. I had originally cut off most contact with my mother due to how she treated my brother when he married his husband. Though my brother said he was alright with my decision to try to get her back in my life since he still has love for her and my baby was her first grandchild. However, our son ended up being stillborn, and it broke me. I fell into a depression and even at one point considered taking my life, but my husband was there for me through all of it and we got through the grief. Our marriage felt stronger than ever and life started slowly feeling beautiful again, even if it no longer felt perfect. About 5 months ago, I found out that I'm pregnant again, and then found out soon after that we're having triplets. My husband and I were over the moon, and he was the most doting and loving husband. Since we've always said that we wanted 2 to 3 children, we agreed that we wouldn't try for any more children after this. Because of our and our family's excitement for triplets, we decided to throw a baby shower and a gender reveal party. We trusted my brother with the genders of the triplets, and he bought some confetti cannons with the colored streamers inside. The baby shower went wonderfully with my parents, in-laws, my brother and his husband, and their daughter, and tons of friends and extended family. It was like a dream come true, and I was so excited for the gender reveal. I don't care what the gender of our babies was, I just wanted healthy little babies. But my husband was clearly excited for potentially 3 sons. When the time came, me, my husband, and my brother all shot a confetti cannon and all 3 shots came out pink. I was so excited and so was my brother when my husband screamed at the top of his lungs and hit the table in front of us, hitting it so hard that it actually broke. He screamed at me that I was supposed to give him at least one son because I killed his first one. That's when I burst into tears. I had been so broken up about our son's stillbirth, and part of me had felt it was my fault. And now he, my husband, was the love of my life, telling me that it was. My brother immediately stepped in and tried to get my husband to calm down, but my husband shoved my brother. So my brother instead pulled me inside, where I cried in the living room while my husband's mother tried to calm him down. I could hear him screaming outside about how 3 daughters is too many, how he doesn't want 4 kids but he also wants a son. Ever since that moment, my husband has hardly talked to me. He's been sleeping in the guest bedroom, and when we do interact, he's clearly upset and mad and tries to argue with me. I try to talk to him about it and ask how he'll be with our 3 daughters, but he spat at me and told me that he'll provide them with shelter and food, but he isn't interested in daughters and doesn't plan to have a close relationship with them. That sealed the deal that I want to divorce him, and I cried myself to sleep last night. Earlier today, I confided in my mother and my mother-in-law about all of this, and they told me that I can't divorce my husband just because he wants a son. I don't want my daughters to grow up in an unloving household where their parents constantly argue and their father doesn't love them. The moment my husband said I killed our son, I felt as though I lost all the love I had for him in an instant, and I don't want my daughters to be in that kind of household. However, both mom and mother-in-law say it's just natural for men to want sons, and that at least he isn't saying he'll mistreat them. They treated this as an absolute fact and acted as though I'm just being a silly little girl who doesn't know anything. I felt incredibly small and stupid. I don't know what to do. My mother and mother-in-law make me feel like I'm maybe overreacting to my husband's behavior, but my brother says that this is not normal, as he and his husband are both men who absolutely love their daughter. I'm also not sure what I'll do with myself if I divorce my husband. I don't work, and I'm not sure how I'll be able to find a job that can support me and 3 babies all on my own, or how I'll make time for all of them when I have to work. I feel so lost and helpless. I'm torn on what to do because I worry divorce will be too harsh of a decision, and that maybe my mother and mother-in-law are right. Update. After reading everyone's comments, I decided to take action immediately and went to my brother's house. We talked for hours through the night and came up with a plan. I'm going to divorce my husband. He's shown the kind of man he is, and I don't want to live in or raise my daughters in that kind of environment. I'm going to move in with my brother and brother-in-law during all of this. He and his husband have a nice, large house where I can have my own room and a nursery for the triplets. I originally worried that perhaps myself and 3 babies would be overwhelming or a burden to him and my brother-in-law, but they assured me that they would love to have us here. I knew everything would be okay when my brother even offered to have a baby monitor put in their bedroom so he could help if more than one of the triplets woke up during the night. My brother-in-law has a nice, high-paying job, and my brother works from home, so I'll have a stable environment and my brother will help out with his nieces. My own niece is excited for us to live with her. The current plan is I'll live with my brother and brother-in-law for a while, and once my babies are old enough where I feel comfortable putting them in daycare, which my brother-in-law has offered to pay for, then I can try to find a job on my own where I can save up money and eventually move into a nice place of my own with my daughters. I am so thankful for my brother and brother-in-law. They truly feel like angels. My brother and I are also going to go no contact with my mother. My brother and I discussed her behavior with us growing up, how she treated him when he came out and also got married, and how she's treated me the past few days. We decided that this was the best course of action as we've given her many chances in our lives to become more stable and kind, but she's always refused them, and we want our daughters to grow up in and with a loving family. When I knew my husband had left for church this morning, my brother, brother-in-law, and I went to my house and got all of my important things such as documents, clothes, and things that are special to me, as well as all the baby things. My brother-in-law's mother watched my niece while we did all of this. She's a kind woman and has offered to be a grandmother to my own babies, which I happily accepted. I'll admit that I cried. I've cried a lot lately, but mostly happy tears. Because my brother and I didn't go to church, my ladies' Bible study group texted me asking if we were all right and if we needed anything. I texted them back and told them the truth and what had happened, and they were all horrified. They told me that they support me and are proud of me for taking action, and are now even planning a bake sale at the church to help raise money for me and my babies. Also, apparently my husband went out to lunch after church with his men's Bible group. One of the other members is husband to one of my friends in the Bible group, and when he found out what happened, he yelled at my husband so much that he cried. I got a little bit of joy out of hearing about that, not going to lie. My pastor even called me and asked if I'm okay, and he let me know that I'll always have people who support me at my church, which I'm very grateful for. After my husband came home from church and saw that most of my stuff was gone, he blew up my phone. But my brother-in-law called him for me and said that he would pay for my husband to get therapy for his grief over our son, and also told him to leave me alone. My husband has not tried to contact me since, and he has yet to give my brother-in-law an answer for his therapy offer. All in all, I'm so grateful for my brother and brother-in-law. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without them. I'm hopeful for the future, and while this isn't the kind of future that I imagine for myself or my babies, this is definitely the best one that I can currently give them. They say it takes a village, and my babies will definitely have a village full of love and support.
Storytime about how I got fired because I told my boss that I loved him.
Disclaimer. Around 2 months ago, I started a new job. It was a CrossFit gym, and all I had to do was check people in before class started. One of the female owners of the gym ended up hiring me, but I didn't realize that she had a husband. Let me tell you, when this man came to the gym, I nearly fell off my seat. Not only is he the owner of the gym, but he's also a model. Like a legit published model. Then I found out that he was married to the woman that hired me. Being the bad bitch that I am, I knew that that was not going to stop me. I have a not so little confession. I have dated about 3 married men in my past. I know it sounds like a lot, but married men are the best. They give you money, they take you out, and they keep it a secret. So there's just like no hassle when you date a married guy. So I came up with a plan. It was pretty much just to flirt with him, and let me tell you, he gave it right back to me. Girl, I am just as shocked as you are. I thought it was gonna be harder to get him to warm up, but nope. Slowly I realized that he started scheduling me on the days that he was there by himself. He was just giving me the vibe, like, you know the vibe. So I started waking up extra early to do my hair and my makeup and look absolutely fabulous when I got to work. Not only that, but I also started bringing him in food. I knew he loved protein smoothies, so I was taking him a protein smoothie almost every single day. And I would just happen to bring extra lunch with me, and I would offer it to him, and he loved it. This was the perfect excuse for us to sit down together and have lunch every single day. And then we got into him complaining about his dear wife. Now, let me be honest, I didn't know where things were gonna go with him, but I definitely wasn't expecting him to start complaining about his wife so soon. This is characteristic of a man that wants to cheat. A little backstory on the wife, she is a ball buster. She also kind of has a short temper, which kind of scares me. By the end of my second week there, I knew I had him in my pocket. But then he had to go away for a shoot, which meant that I wasn't gonna see him for 2 weeks. And he went away for 2 weeks on a business trip, and I was so sad. And that's when I realized I was in love with him. Like, truly, madly, and deeply. And I only knew that because I wasn't flirting with anybody else. I was only thinking about him and waiting for him to come back. So during those 2 weeks, I took advantage and I started going to the gym every single day. I mean, I worked there, so I started working out like crazy. He happened to mention that he loves girls with abs, so I basically went on a 500-calorie deficit, and I was pretty skinny by the time he got back. I would not recommend this to anybody because it's absolutely treacherous. I love food, and I was always in a bad mood until he came back. The next time he saw me at the gym, I looked phenomenal. He walked up to me and said, "Oh my God, I missed you so much, and you look fucking amazing." I melted into a puddle. The following day, he and I both opened the gym together, and of course, I brought him his favorite smoothie, and he asked me if we could catch up. That's when he asked me if I had been dating anybody while he'd been gone. The fact that this man was already jealous after not seeing me for 2 weeks let me know that he was vibing me just as much as I was vibing him. So I did the logical thing and I said yes. He looked at me dead in the face and said, "Why are you gonna date somebody when you have me?" I was so shook, I actually didn't know what to say, and he laughed. Then he said, "Oh, you know, I'm just joking. I'm just messing with you." And I said, "No, you're not. You actually meant that, didn't you?" That's when we just both stared at each other without saying a single word. I actually thought he was gonna kiss me, but he didn't. Then he confessed that he was so attracted to me that he didn't know if I should stay working there. I told him that we could just simply stay away from each other so that I wouldn't have to quit. He said that that's not gonna work for him because he actually wanted to see me and talk to me all the time. After that, I could tell that he was mustering up the courage to kiss me or to do something, but he was scared. After he confessed his feelings for me, I could tell that he was just trying to be close to me like all the time. He would find any excuse to touch my arm or my shoulder or my neck or my hair, and I was super flattered. By the way, I'm already in love with him at this point. All I was waiting for was for him to actually kiss me or to make the first move. Then I noticed some weird stuff happening between him and his wife. Do you remember that they both own the gym that I work at? Well, she started coming to the gym in the mornings when he was supposed to be there. So every time I would bring an extra protein smoothie and an extra lunch for him, I would have to hide it from her. That's when one day he asked me if we could meet up at an undisclosed location. It was pretty much just an empty parking lot, and I went into his car and then we talked. He confessed to me that he was having an affair with somebody else from the gym, and that this person was starting to go a little bit crazy because she saw him and I flirting. He told me that this woman was crazy and that she might even tell his wife about us. So basically he wanted me to not flirt with him anymore and that maybe we could see each other outside of work, but that even that would be too dangerous just in case she was following him. I asked him to tell me who it was and he gave me a hint. He said, "She's the really loud one." Immediately I knew who he was talking about. It was one of the current gym members who comes to every single class with her husband. I could not make this stuff up. Then he basically told me straight out I needed to not speak to him at all at the gym, and that if this woman ever came up to me and asked me anything, I needed to just play dumb. To be honest, I actually got scared at this point because he told me that she was dangerous and crazy. So we both actually started acting like we didn't know each other. But the thing was, he wasn't trying to see me outside of work. He always kept saying that he was too busy or that his wife couldn't find out. So I wasn't talking to him at work at all. And again, this just solidified the fact that I was totally in love with this man. And then I found myself extremely jealous at the thought of him having an affair with this other woman. Not just that, but one day I walk into the office and he's full on making out with his wife on their desk. I felt totally betrayed and lied to. This whole time he's talking about how much he hated his wife, but then he's making out with her. And the woman that he was having an affair with was coming to the gym all the time and always grabbing on him and pulling him. I was jealous and envious all the time. It actually got to the point where I couldn't do do my job because I was always aware of where he was and who he was talking to. Finally, we both show up to open the gym one day and we have some privacy. That's when I told him that I was really jealous and that all I wanted to do was be with him. And then the words just came out of my mouth. I said, I love you. He looked horrified. He looked confused and angry. Then all he said was, I have to fire you. Then he said that he couldn't have me around because I was too much of a risk. I literally begged him not to fire me, but he said no. I even tried to take it back. The next day he gave me a $3,000 check and told me never to come back. I drive by the gym every single day just to check up on him, and I'm still totally obsessed. My friends actually think I'm going crazy, but I'm just in love. Should I just forget about him or do I have hope?
I ruined my sister's gender reveal out of spite. My sister had been sleeping with my then boyfriend and only revealed the fact after we got engaged, so as to, quote, save me from getting married to a cheater. And because she felt remorseful and ashamed. I broke up with him and cut off my sister, only tolerating her during family gatherings, which I rarely ever came to if I knew she was going to be there. I moved to another state for a job and to start fresh, so I've been away from home for quite a while. Months later, I was told my sister and ex-boyfriend got engaged. To say I was livid was an understatement, but I wasn't going to let them disturb me from my life.
Wow.
I came back recently at my mother's request since she assured me my sister wouldn't be there, only to find out she was in fact there. I managed to calm myself and pretend I was okay with everything. Deep down, I was upset. More at my mom for lying to me, though. It turns out they called me for my sister's planned gender reveal party, which I would have never attended had I known beforehand. I never even knew she was pregnant, but I was there already, so I had to put on my fake smile. Night came. For the first time in a long time, my sister engaged me in a conversation and apologized for everything and wanted to make up. I wanted to bite her head off and tell her to go to hell because the frickin' audacity. But then she told me about the gender of her baby. She already knew. To try to rekindle the times where we used to tell and trust each other with everything. At some point, as we were talking, I was reminded of when we used to be best friends. And honestly, I was tired of the bitterness and wanted to let bygones be bygones. I watched her plan out everything. Spend a ton of money, excited and all, but just the night before the gender reveal, ex-boyfriend showed up and it took me right back to the past. It kept playing over and over in my head, how I was betrayed by them, and I got absolutely pissed at how they were happy even after what they did to me. I realized I never had the intention of forgiving them, so in an attempt to get back at them, I told everyone the gender of the baby right then and there. One glance at her and she was on the verge of tears, staring at me with the cheating scumbag. She didn't say anything and just stormed off. It was awkward. Everybody immediately knew why I did it, so it didn't come as a surprise. Nobody said anything, and we all called it a night. I'm not going to lie. It felt good seeing them distraught. It brought me a sense of comfort. All their money had gone to waste since she was upset and refused to leave her room, so the reveal never happened. The house is quiet, but I can see the judgmental looks I'm getting from everyone, so I'm booking a flight back because there's no point in me being here anymore. I don't feel an ounce of regret. In fact, I feel peace and at ease.
Okay, so my boyfriend's family invited me on a vacation and I'm gonna tell you all about it, okay? So back in August, my boyfriend came to me and he told me that his family was planning on going on a vacation, right? And he was like, my mom said I should invite you. I was like, what? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Not only do you want me there, but even your mom wants me there? I was like, okay, so like, when are we going? And then he was like, nah, I'll tell you. Like, my parents are still finalizing everything. So a few days ago, he tells me that, babe, we're finally going on the vacation. My parents just finished booking the place. We're gonna go to the beach. We're gonna have our own little picnic. Like, dude, do you understand how exciting this is? This is a big deal. This is a huge deal, okay? Because what do you mean I'm only 21 years old? I'm insanely in love with this man, and this man's family also loves me. And not only does his family love me, but my family also loves him. Like, what do you mean this is my reality, bro? I am literally so excited, dude. I can't wait for this. I feel like it's gonna be such a good time. I've already met my boyfriend's family a couple of times. They are amazing people. Like, not a week goes by without his mom checking up on me, you know, calling me. We text a lot, we talk a lot. She calls me, she lets me be vulnerable. She asks me how I'm doing since I lost my dad. You know, we talk about that because she can also relate. We just talk about any and everything, dude. Like, it's such a beautiful relationship that I have with her. Like, his little sisters absolutely love me. They are literally the cutest little human beings ever, dude. They even invited me to their birthday party. I think that's so cute. Like, they were like, Ayanda, we want you to come to our birthday party. And I was like, of course, my little angels. There's no way I'm gonna miss it. Like, there's no other place I'd rather be. My boyfriend really is my best friend. Like, I'm not even joking, bro. This is my best friend. I get to bring him around my friends, my family. They all get along. And speaking about the vacation, bro, I'm so excited, okay? I'm absolutely excited. I'm not nervous at all because, like I said, I've already established a proper relationship with his parents, a proper relationship with his little sisters. So I'm not nervous at all. Thank you, God. Obashata.
Am I the astronaut for threatening to skip Thanksgiving? I was born on Thanksgiving. As a result, every year we celebrate Thanksgiving and my birthday on the same day. I get presents, my favorite leg, and ice cream. It's how we've done it every year with the exception of 2 years because of milestone ages. The other day, my mother makes a group chat and tells the immediate family that we will have one extra guest, my brother-in-law. His birthday falls on this Friday, an entire week before Thanksgiving break. My mom found this out and said that we can do a joint birthday. I told her no, I didn't want that. She argued that it was his birthday too, and she could do what she wanted. I flat out said if I see a cake made for him, I'm leaving and I'm not coming back. The group chat did not like that. Everyone started defending my mother, calling me a brat and selfish, but I just don't want to share another thing that's supposed to be for me. My high school graduation, overshadowed by my stepfather's retirement. Getting into college, oh, my older brother got in too, an entire semester before me. Let's celebrate. I get overlooked so much, I paid for my own senior pictures and graduation pictures, but I'm conceited enough to gift those pictures to everyone for every occasion. So Reddit, am I the astronaut? Edit to add, y'all, the year I was born on Thanksgiving. We celebrated on Thanksgiving every year. It's a tradition. Edit to add, too. I have spoken to my family about my feelings and everything that entails that. They still ignore me and call me selfish. Okay, there is an update in here, but before the update, let's talk about this for a minute. Am I the astronaut for threatening to skip Thanksgiving? Let's dive into the update and see here. I'm unsure right now. I'm hoping the update will clarify for us. Update/edit. I want to thank everybody who responded. I have read through as much as I can. I know I'm not the asshole for how I feel, but the way I went about it could have and should have been better. There's some emotional maturity going on here. Okay. Brownie points for that. I will apologize for that and for being a bit dramatic in my word choosing. I also realized that maybe this issue wasn't the issue that I needed to be focused on. You guys are right. It was the straw that broke the camel's back, and I blew it up way more than I needed to. I will not be going to family Thanksgiving this year. Instead, I will be hosting my own Friendsgiving. No birthday talk until the actual day of my birth, and I'll think of something to do with my girlfriends. Seriously, even the YTA comments, I thank you. It helped me see that some hills aren't worth dying on, and sometimes I just need to back away. I also feel like I should clear some things up. 1, I don't get the entire day. I get 10 minutes set aside for ice cream and 2 presents. I get my favorite right leg at dinner, but that's as far as being special gets. Seriously, after those 10 minutes, I go back to being ignored. As a matter of fact, I'm the only one who cleans the kitchen because if I say no, everyone screams at me. 2, I don't particularly like having my birthday on the holiday, but I know how my family gets when it would like to change something, so I've never argued that aspect of it. 3, I love my brother-in-law and my entire family. It's just us. No extended family comes. No one from out of state or even hours away comes. 4, I listed a few, but not all of the examples of times I've been cast aside. My brother got 2 college acceptance celebrations, one for just him, and then the second time for me and him. Well, that doesn't make sense. My own traditions start now. It's like y'all said, I'm a grown-ass adult. I need to act like it. And thank you for the birthday wishes. This year will be the best one yet.
Okay, story time while I get ready for my Friendsgiving. Okay, so I don't know if some of you guys know, but I had like a solid awkward phase. Like, it was long, and honestly I'm sure I'll look back like next year at myself now and be like, oh, I was still in it. But anyways, I used to have a fat gap between my 2 front teeth, and I have had like Invisalign for like 5 years, so it's closed now. But I swear the gap between my teeth used to be so big, I think I could like fit a quarter in it. I also used to have a lisp when I talked for my S's. Anyway, so this happened to me when I was going to go take like the press photos for this show that I was on at the time. And like my teeth were moving, but they weren't fully fixed yet. Anyways, I was going to go take the pictures and I was so excited because like I knew this was like a big moment for me. So I get on like the stage or whatever to like go take the pictures, and they have these like bright white lights just like shining. And I'm pretty sure I'd been like practicing my smile, you know, before to like get it down. And so whatever, the photographer person ends up like, you know, taking a few test shots, getting like the levels right, and then they told me that they're ready, so I gave them a big smile. I don't know if the photographer like didn't think I could like hear them, but I could. And so when I opened my mouth, the photographer goes, "Ugh, her teeth," just like completely out loud, and like my stomach genuinely dropped. And so my like smile slowly just started to like completely fade. And you know, this photographer's taking like I don't even know how many photos per second, but they just kept going. And in my head I genuinely just kept on being like, okay, so like should I close my mouth? Like what? And they took a couple more, you know, they asked me to like pose a few ways that were like so awkward, and I was so stiff. And like immediately after, I went up to my mom and told her the whole thing, and we were just both so confused because I'd like never, and I still really haven't experienced like negative energy or just like bad energy in like the work environment. And so it was just like this new like weird feeling that I was like, whoa, that was just like weird, like I don't know. And so whatever, the photos were done, it was over. And so for at least for this project, I didn't get to pick which photos they ended up using. These would be like the photos that like if I went to an event or something, like these would be the pictures that they would be selling for people to sign, like to have me sign. And so they give me the folder with the photo in it. And so I open it, and the freaking picture they ended up using was like a picture of the moment right after he said, "Oh, her teeth." And my face is like visibly so uncomfortable. And that photo like continued to haunt me for years after. Like literally every like thing I would go to, people would like have that picture. I wanted to throw it in the trash.
The boys have their show tonight in Portland, Oregon, and I'm so excited for it. Technically a hometown show for them because Kyle, Zach, and Dylan are all from Oregon. Dylan and Zach are from Hood River, which is just about an hour outside of Portland. It's a super, super cute small town. And my best friend and matron of honor, Sienna, also lives in Hood River, so she's coming tonight, and I could cry. I'm so excited to see her. Sienna's married to McKinley, who's the old guitar player for Floor. They're actually how I know Dylan, and she moved to Hood River at the same time that I moved to LA. We both moved from Philly to Hood River, LA. Hold, please. So Sienna's coming tonight, McKinley's coming tonight, a bunch of their other friends are coming tonight. It's just gonna be such a party. The guys had their first official day off yesterday, which was so nice. We got to sleep in, got a workout in finally, and then we just roamed around, went into some shops, ate a lot of food, got some work done, and celebrated Kyle's birthday, who is the drummer of Floor. I also spent the entire day calling all around Sacramento to try to find my lost camera. I can't even believe that I'm saying this because she is my pride and joy and love of my life, and I've only had her for like 2 months or 3 months. But my Canon G7X Mark II is somewhere in Sacramento, I believe. The last I remember seeing it was at this restaurant across from the venue, which was Ace of Spades. It's like Iron Horse, Iron Pig, Iron something. What was that restaurant called, babe? Iron Horse. And I'm pretty sure I took it out to show the guys some of the photos I took during their set. I have a vague memory of putting it on the table and being like, don't forget this when you leave. And I could have sworn that I grabbed it, but I woke up yesterday. I went to go grab my camera to put some of the photos onto my phone, and she was nowhere to be found. I called the restaurant and they said they haven't seen it yet, but that they would keep an eye out for it and let me know. Still waiting to hear back from Ace of Spades. I've called them like 12 times. I've left them 2 voicemails and have emailed them, and I haven't heard back yet. There's a slight chance that I left it in the green room, but I'm not holding my breath. We also took an Uber from the venue to our hotel that night, so there's a chance it's in the Uber, which I also don't think it is. I've contacted them as well. If you live in Sacramento and you stumble across a Canon G7X with a bunch of embarrassing photos on it, please let me know. I literally use that camera every single day to the point where I'm already like looking at buying a new one, even though I really don't want to because they're not cheap. If I were to buy a new one, Portland would be the place to do it because no sales tax. I called Best Buy this morning, no luck. And then I called just like a local Portland camera shop that had really good reviews, and it looked like they had a really high inventory of cameras. and I asked them for my specific camera, which is the Canon G7X Mark II or III. I'll take either. And he basically laughed on the phone and said, good luck. So that was really sad news, but the show tonight is going to be so fun. So I'll take my mind off of it, and I'm still holding out a little glimpse of hope that my camera will show up.